A moment to remember in Boston. Families of the marathon victims paying tribute 3 years after 2 bombs exploded on Boylston Street. Those moments forever changed the city of Boston. Today, we pause to remember those lost.
And thousands of people now vowing to make a difference in the name of those victims. Jim Smith is live on Boylston Street with more on the very special One Boston Day. Jim.
Chris, it's been a very emotional morning here by the Boston Marathon finish line. Tributes paid to those who lost their lives, but also a determination to somehow carry on. Three years later, a city, a state, and a nation pause to remember. More than 1,000 days since far too many lives were changed forever. A wreath laid by the governor and the father of Crystal Campbell. The family of Martin Richard standing strong despite their grief at the scene of the second bombing. A difficult day for survivors.
It's always a little bit tough because, you know, obviously this was a pretty devastating day in this very spot. But I've come back several times. Being here today kind of represents that the city has survived, you know, the attacks of 3 years ago, and we're all doing our best to move on.
For these survivors, there is some consolation, a light shining in the darkness. One Boston Day is now also a time for humanitarian acts of kindness, good responding to evil.
Personally, I feel great, healthy, but it's it's a very sad day. But I just have to keep positive, keep on trucking.
What's your reaction that this day is also turned into a day where people do acts of kindness and positivity?
I think that's really amazing.
For this group, Boston Strong is much more than a slogan. It's a way of life, a promise to never forget, but also move ahead.
And we've been seeing the resiliency among the family victims as well as the survivors. We had 31 survivors won't be running the Boston Marathon this year. And once again, you know, we remember and honor them and friends and family.
This is a day filled with various observances and commemorations and events, and there are still more events this afternoon. At 2:30, an interfaith service at the Old South Church, and then at 2:49, the exact moment of the first explosion, a moment of silence and the pealing of church bells. Live in Boston, Jim Smith, WBZ News.